See if this thing works in here. Yep. Okay. I don't know why live streaming impulsive behavior. No, I figured I'd check in. I don't think I've checked in a while. Moved up to the top of the hill. I don't think I've checked in since I moved up here. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm at the top of the hill now, and staying through New Year's, and then it's kind of all up in the air after that. I was contemplating leaving today. I mean, technically I can leave whenever I want to. Got this fancy mohawk. It's very fancy. I was just thinking about leaving so I could go back to work. What's up, CC? Good to see you. And thank you. Yeah, my sober punk rock sister over here gave it to me the other night. I was having a bit of a meltdown over something I ought not be melting down about. We're not supposed to use the should statements. It happened, figured it out, I got over it, and I got a haircut. So, hello, Sandy. Good to see you. So, yeah, now I'm trying not to melt down today because, once again, it's like I'm doing all the things that I should be doing or whatever, things I need to do for my recovery, and everything's not working out perfectly. And so, not even close to perfectly, but I've been convinced myself, I don't know, that, shit will work out, and I just need to keep on keeping on, and, hopefully it won't be too devastating, like in this position where I'm behind financially. Still haven't been able to pay my phone bill. Somebody offered to pay the phone bill for me, but then they had some issues paying the phone bill for me, so it didn't get paid. So I'm told they may still pay it, but as of now, it's not paid, which is like whatever. But there's like certain moves I can't make without my phone, like getting a loan, for example. Because of the way they need to verify it by calling my phone. If my phone's off, they can't do that, and I can't change the number because you need to have so it's this whole cycle of things happening. Yeah, so I just got to kind of try to work through that. It seems tomorrow or Tuesday, probably be able to go down to the bank, maybe even go down to the place where I could get the loan, and then resolve some of these issues. Like paying my rent because my rent's past due and I don't have all of it. And pretty much told by my family at this point that, like, we really support your recovery, but we're not helping you financially anymore. So it's like, okay, that's great. So like more than halfway through this process. I mean, by the time I get out, at least if I stay till my scheduled date, I'll have 67 days under my belt. So it's a pretty good run. Not really like having cravings for drugs or alcohol or anything. What they would like me to do is go to the sober living environment, which is like another very controlled environment, but at least I can like leave throughout the day. But when I come back by whatever agreed upon curfew, I'll have to drug test upon returning to the house, which I kind of think is, yeah, it is what it is. But I have another option now available to me, which is staying with one of my bandmates, his house, but that's kind of like out in the sticks. So it's like if I go out there, I'd be out there for a couple days, come down the hill for work, go back, et cetera, et cetera. But at least then I know I would not have, it's like miles away from any type of temptation, so I'd have that going for me. It's also a place where he doesn't drink or use or anything like that. So he's one of my only sober bandmates, mostly sober. I mean, he still smokes weed, but it's like whatever. I can just resist that. I mean, I pretty much figure with that stuff, it's like a behavioral issue at this point. Like, if I don't get back into like habitually using it, then it wouldn't even be a big deal if I relapsed on it. Like, it's more of a big deal if I relapse on other stuff, but I don't want to be like constantly stoned anymore and like constantly needing to have something in order to function because that's where I was at. So, um, yeah, I don't think that would be a huge issue for me. And he's not like the type of person who's gonna like shove it in my face. So, let's see, I've got some new artwork on the wall. Got my pelican and my well, I don't know if I showed you this before. This is my they call it a vision board. It's like stuff you want for the future or something. It's a cricket. Damn it, can't get it in the frame. So yeah, it's like eating healthier food and cooking for myself and dating myself because I'm supposed to date myself. Did I already do this? Um, Going out and enjoying nature, maybe getting a place out here somewhere, uh, growing plants, which I don't have it with me, but I do have a new plant, which is a succulent I can take with me. It's called the Mother of Thousands, but apparently a lot of people call it the Devil's Backbone, which I think is great. And yeah, it just reproduces like crazy, and it's supposed to be really easy to take care of. So um, I'm reading several books right now. I've got this Recovery Dharma. I think I showed you all last time, which is like how to use Buddhist practices and principles to heal the suffering of addiction. And then I'm still reading the AA Big Book. It's not my favorite thing in the world. And working the steps with a temp sponsor who I met on YouTube. And doing meetings with that guy and stuff. Some of y'all might know him, but I'm not going to say who it is because that's, it's not anonymous then or something. Anyway, but neither here nor there. And then I'm reading this Empowering Your Sober Self, which is from the Life Ring program. It's by uh, and then the Recovery by Choice book I have in there, but I haven't really started it yet. And I'm doing the Smart Handbook. I'm working through that. So I'm doing like all the different recovery programs available here. And like running with that and trying to maintain, establish and maintain more contacts. Like every time somebody leaves here, it's like a goal to find out who's local and try to get their numbers and stay in contact. So I got a couple of those. I can go to meetings with locally down where I work. Once I get out of here, I'm supposed to attend the Zoom version of that meeting tomorrow. That's another AA meeting. So pretty much the way I've put together, like, well, they call it an exit plan. I prefer exit strategy, which has been approved by my care team here, which includes the 90 meetings in 90 days, but they're not all going to be AA meetings. And so the way I figure this, I can mix it up, do like maybe a couple, 2, 3 AA meetings throughout the week, and then mix that in with these smart meetings, Life Ring meetings, Dharma recovery or refuge recovery meetings, which are essentially the same program, but they've like divided into two separate groups because the guy who formed refuge is kind of an asshole, and so they decided that they wanted to call it Dharma instead, but it's whatever. They're both like Buddhist recovery programs, which is fine. Going back to work, and then of course the sober living environment was worked into that deal, but we'll see what is thought about this kind of retreat out to my buddy's house that could work in place of that instead. I'm trying to get the scholarship for the sober living environment, which because I can't even afford to go there, obviously. I can't afford to stay where I'm at, and I can't afford to move. But I'm probably going to be able to stay where I'm at. I mean, at least tentatively, that's the plan. I just need to kind of figure out this month, and then moving into next month, I'll just do the makeup work. But anyway, I'm going to do the 90 meetings in 90 days, go back to work. Looking for my own apartment with Section 8 out here, which will be local, kind of in this area, where I got my Section 8 more or less approved. I don't know exactly what that means when you like win the lottery, but it still means you haven't actually gotten into a place. I'm supposed to be looking for places, so I need to figure all that out when I get out of here. But hopefully, I can get into my own apartment or some type of living situation that doesn't involve renting the garage, because the garage has been fine, but it's just not like really a good permanent situation. It's pretty cheap for the area and it's central, but I'll also be saving like a lot of money on alcohol and stuff. So hopefully that'll factor in and I'll be able to afford a place of my own. Never had one of those. Scheduled for a tune-up here at the house, which is included in the program, which means basically 3 months from my release date, I will come back and just stay for 3 days and brush up on the program and check in with everybody here and stuff and just get a little retreat. Find a therapist ongoing. Unfortunately, I'm like real comfortable with my therapist here, but she doesn't take my insurance, or my insurance doesn't take her, more accurately. Uh, so I have to figure out a solution to that. She said, like, worst case, she would book me, and then I basically just end up owing her money later, but it wouldn't be like an immediate issue. So, but that's not going to work like as a long term solution, and I'm probably going to need ongoing therapy for a long time, if not, my lifetime. Seems to be constant issue coming up. I don't know. And then we have the alumni meetings, which are online for members of the house as well, so that we can do recovery meetings and check-ins with all the people that we've met and made connections with here. So yeah, there's a lot of ongoing connection with the house. It's not like they just boot you out and you're done. Like, which obviously if you relapse or have an issue where you're going to relapse, they expect you to call and come back. Anytime you're having a big issue and you can't find support for, I mean, you can always call the house and talk to the staff here, which I'm pretty close with a lot of them too. So I'm good with them. They're good with me. And my roommate's out for a while because he was in here for most of the morning, but I'm walking home. I do have a roommate over here. We've had a vacant room across the hall for like several days now, and I'm considering just moving over there because if one person in this room and then 2 of us in this room and then the other room's just vacant and it has 2 slots. So I'm like, but I don't think I'm technically supposed to do that, but I have been considering it. And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I was just having a minor meltdown this morning over this whole rent thing because I was hoping that I'd get more help from a family member. And they were like, here's $100. That's all I'm giving you. That's all you're going to get. Don't ask me anymore. And I was like, okay. So that's not going to cover what I need. And I mean, it's chipping away at it. So that's what we're doing, just chipping away at whatever we can right now. But freaked out. Like, and I don't think my landlady is like that. I don't think she would just like toss my shit out. But I don't have any type of actual lease agreement. It's all verbal agreement, So like, really, I mean, you could just do whatever she wants at this point. But I have been a good renter since April. This is the first month that I haven't made the rent so far. So I guess it's not logical to think that she would do that. I'll just be like, but it is, the holidays are coming up, and it's just a shitty time for everybody to be going through this. So, um, but I gotta stay focused on doing my thing and making sure that I'm doing the best thing. And it's just hard. It's hard. It's distracting. Kind of made me want to just bail out and say, well, if I go back to work now, at least I can start catching up. But even if I go back to work now, I still wouldn't really get paid for a couple weeks, and so it wouldn't be an immediate solution. So I've got to like talk myself out of doing those impulsive things, because impulsive things don't usually solve problems. They usually make them worse. And so yeah, I don't want to do that. Got my NA key tags. Got my 24-hour and my 30-day. Actually, I'm at 48 days now. 48 days clean and sober. And I've got my 24-hour chip and my 30-day chip from AAA. And then I've got this lovely bracelet that was given to me by somebody who came in for their tune-up, a resident here who I just met. Was here for a couple of days, but this is supposed to help align my chakras, I guess. So they must have thought I needed my chakras aligned. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'll show you this too. We made our own Christmas stockings, which I don't think I've done since grade school. So here's my Christmas stocking. Very creative. I didn't have a whole lot of plan for it. So, well, I'll do this. It'll be fine. It'll be great. Sandy, show me all. Yes, we do. We all do. I'm not sure what that was in reference to because I just saw it pop in chat, so I'm not sure how long ago. There's probably like a couple of minutes of delay between what I said and what you're replying to. But like, plus I don't know if I can accurately keep track of everything I just said. I've been doing a lot more journaling. So I've got this really cool mapping process. It's it's a behavioral map. It's a cognitive map. So we know when we're moving through various stages, and so there's like one which is like me now, stage one. Well, sort of. The stage one is like you feel grounded, level. It's like you're basically your normal personality. And then you have the stage two, which is anxiety, your anxious personality, and the stage three is your frustrated, upset, angry personality. And then the stage four is your desperate, hopeless personality, sad. And then basically they say once you go beyond that, you're in what they call relapse mode. So that's usually the way it works for people, which seems pretty accurate. And I am able to recognize it like in the moment or like shortly after, where like the other night when I did this, I had one of those where I was perfectly cool, and then something set me off, and I got anxious and moved very quickly into anger, and then blew off my steam for anger, and then went into the stage four, lonely, hopeless. And then I was like, when I wrote it all out and I tried to justify my behavior, I was like, and this is when you relapse, because the second that you went from anxiety to anger, for me, was the moment I would have gone out and got a drug or a drink. And that's, I want to kill that feeling. I'm going to be like, I don't want to be anxious. I know I'm going to get angry. I don't want to get angry. So instead, I'm going to go start drinking, which will tend to just make me sad, So then you're just like skipping over so you can numb out the emotion. And hey, what's up, Captive Desk? Good to see you. So it's very helpful. I'm like being able to recognize those stages now, and when I'm moving through them, be able to be like, oh, this is where I'm. So I'm like doing it throughout the day. Like, okay, I start out normal, and then I start to get anxious. What's escalating this? And then try to identify the feelings, and then not let them trip you up. Like it's really hard to control your emotions, or like accept your emotions, I guess, because you can't really control them. But like I identified, I don't like being angry. I can't tolerate being angry. If I'm gonna get angry, I'd rather just numb that feeling than like just express my anger. And like expressing your anger in a healthy way is like difficult too. And the other thing I identified was that like when I started feeling anxious about a certain thing, by focusing on another person and my concern for their situation, even though it's kind of a behavior that we tend to like be against, like rescuing behavior. But having that focus on another person outside of myself relieved my own anxiety. And then I wasn't anxious. I was back in that grounded stage because I was concerned about another person. That's what they talk about with like the fellowship and being of service or whatever you do that gets you outside of yourself, gets you out of your own head, can get you back to being grounded. And so trying to focus more on stuff like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's a balance, you know. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I feel pretty level right now. I was pretty hopeless for a while this morning, and then I had a good talk with one of my counselors, who's like, "There's nothing you can do to control this situation. It's probably not as bad as you think, and once you get to the other side of it, and you don't do all this impulsive shit you're thinking about doing, then you're probably going to feel a lot better about yourself. And then in the long term, it's going to be like reinforced, you know, that like, you know, I don't have to rely on other people to help me, and I don't have to have resentments for those family members who are cutting me off financially and stuff. Hey, happy holidays, Simos. Good to see you. Thank you. Um, much love back to you. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be celebrating the holiday here with my sober family, all clean and sober, and you know, very diverse group around here. And that's one of the reasons I want to check out when I do. There's something they call the sweet spot, because there is some aspect to this being here that can become like way too comfortable. Like you can get used to being, and it's like a form of institutionalization. Like you don't really have to deal with the outside world, the adult world, all the temptations out there, and you get to like and get close to some of the people in here, which you can like maintain those relationships outside for the most part. Some people you're never going to see again, but the rest of them it's going to be by choice, you know, like anywhere else. But yeah, I found that happening and being like, and the cycle of being like, you know, one of the people who has made it through the program and seeing other people who are coming in fresh off, you know, fresh off the street, so to speak, or whatever. It you start to you can start to be very critical of other people, and I'll be like, oh well, you know, they just detox, they just started the program, you know, and then it takes once again like your focus is off of not just your own internal, you know, but your own like yeah, not working on your own behavior. That's the point. So I want to be working on improving my own behavior and not being critical of others. So yeah, Merry Christmas to all. You didn't see it pose with my glittery Christmas stocking because it's leaking glitter all over my bed now. Apparently, I did not use enough glue, or I used too much glitter. I'm not sure, but that's fine. It's fine. And so I guess that was it. I was just venting. Ooh, we got a little bit of sunshine. It's been raining this morning, and now it's sun's out. Sun is out to play. So I think I'm gonna go try to enjoy that for a bit before my next group. My next group is Sunday's usually the easy day. Everybody's like, take the day off. But we had family day yesterday and it was really good. I was like, yesterday was my good day off. I don't want to rest today. I want to work. So I've been reading through all my recovery books. Oh yeah, so this is an alumni one, which they have you come back after you've been out for a few months. And usually somebody who's in on a tune-up, and then, you know, since you stayed sober, they talk about what worked in helping you stay sober. Or if you relapsed, you'd be like, what didn't work? Why, you know, what part of your program did you not use that allowed you to relapse? Um, Today we were talking about expectations, and I came up with a lot, like these expectations on being clean and sober and what they mean. Hey, King Bone, good to see you. I'm all right. I'm all right. You know, keeping it on the straight and narrow. there's a lot of expectations in these programs. They say, well, if you stay clean and sober, things will get better, and all these things, doors are going to open for you, and all these things they say to you. And then when it seems like that's not what's happening, then you're like, oh, well, then it doesn't matter if I stay clean or not. You know what I mean? And it's like self-defeating. But I did come up with this. My serenity is not dependent on externalities. My sobriety is my responsibility, and my position in the group does not necessarily reflect my progress. And that kind of helped me release some of my stuff, because it was like getting mad about bullshit that doesn't matter. And you have to just write those things or express them out loud to others. That can help. Yeah, because I find that I can spin it in my head and know these things, but unless I actually say it to another person, I'm just gonna stay mad at myself. I'm just gonna stay internally conflicted. And it's like actually releasing it, actually gets you out of the cycle most of the time. It's not 100% perfect, but it's been working for me for the most part. And what's up, Silver Wolf? Good to see you. So I've been rambling on and on. It looks like we have a pretty good connection up here. We have a pretty strong Wi-Fi network, I think. And I don't know where the router is in this house, but I know it works pretty well. It's a smaller house, so it works pretty well all throughout the house. Only when I step outside do I start to have many issues. The only thing that sucks is they have a parental blocker on here for YouTube. It doesn't work on my Tubi TV. I still watch whatever I want on Tubi, but when I go on YouTube, it won't allow me to look at certain songs and certain videos, I guess, because of parental block. And I don't know what to do with that, because I thought it was weird. I was trying to listen to a song by a band called Morning Glory called Gimme Heroin, and it wouldn't let me listen to that song. But then it suggested Heroin by Lou Reed, which I was like, or the Velvet Underground. And I was like, okay, so the one is an anti-drug song, and they won't let me listen to it. But the one that promotes drug use, they will let me listen to. So it didn't make sense to me. And then I was trying to look up a documentary about methamphetamines as well. It wouldn't let me look at that either. And I'm like, but we do drug education here. It doesn't make any sense. But whatever. It's whatever. I don't make the rules. I just got to live by them. Anyway, that's my spiel for today. I was thinking about asking for money, but I'm not going to ask for money. I'm just going to try and figure it out. But you want to throw me a few bones for Christmas? Hit me up, and there's ways to do that. And if not, figure it out, get by, and all that good stuff. So much love to everyone. Peace and serenity be upon you. I was smudged this morning, so I'm feeling very I don't know what having sage blown at you actually does, but it smells good. Speaking of which, I need a shower. Be well and be kind. Be kind to yourselves, and stay trusty. And I'm going to try to do the same. All right. Bye-bye.
But look, we're dealing with a lot of weird.
Keep it real, homies.
We all